most people think they know the USA. The Statue of Liberty and the Golden Gate Bridge. Hollywood signs and neon-lit Vegas, skyscrapers and busy highways. But beyond the famous cities and tourist landmarks lies an America few ever discover. Mountains where glaciers carve through valleys beneath North America's highest peak. Canyons carved so deep that rivers flow a mile below the rim. Geysers erupting on schedule in volcanic wonderlands. Sandstone waves frozen in time, creating nature's perfect art. This is the unseen America. The one beyond the theme parks and shopping malls. From Arctic wilderness to volcanic islands, from red rock deserts to ancient forests. From towering peaks to the deepest blue lakes. We're about to discover the America that most travelers never experience. If you're ready to explore beyond the obvious, subscribe to Wanderlux Experience right now. Turn on notifications, because we're discovering places where nature's raw power created landscapes that seem impossible to believe. It's the Wilderness Park, where North America's highest peak towers above the tundra filled with grizzlies and caribou. Denali rises 6,190 meters as the continent's tallest mountain, formerly known as Mount McKinley until 2015. The park spans 24,000 square kilometers, with only one road penetrating into the pristine wilderness for 148 kilometers. The wildlife roams freely throughout: grizzly bears, wolves, moose, caribou, and Dall sheep across the vast tundra. The mountain hides behind clouds most of the time, visible only 30% of days throughout the year. The autumn transforms the tundra into a carpet of red, orange, and gold in a brief explosion of color. The subarctic location creates long summer days, with nearly 24 hours of daylight in June for extended wildlife viewing. Have you seen North America's highest peak rising above a wilderness filled with grizzly bears? Would you attempt the challenging summit climb, or watch the wildlife from the tour bus? It's the Red Rock Canyon, where sandstone cliffs soar 1,000 meters above the Virgin River, carving through the valley below. Zion Canyon creates the park's centerpiece, with towering walls forming one of America's most dramatic landscapes throughout. The Angel's Landing Trail climbs to a narrow fin with chains bolted to the rock and 450-meter drops on both sides. The Narrows hike follows the Virgin River through a slot canyon where walls rise 600 meters and the river becomes the trail. The rock formations tower above: the Watchman, the Three Patriarchs, and the Great White Throne, creating an iconic skyline. The sandstone glows at sunrise and sunset, with red and orange light illuminating the massive cliffs dramatically throughout. The shuttle system is mandatory in peak season to reduce the congestion and preserve the canyon experience. Have you hiked a trail where chains keep you from falling 450 meters to the valley floor? Would you brave the exposed Angel's Landing or wade through the cold Narrows? It's the volcanic wonderland, where geysers erupt on schedule above a supervolcano that could reshape the entire continent. Yellowstone sits atop a massive volcanic hotspot with over 10,000 geothermal features throughout the vast park boundaries. Old Faithful erupts approximately every 90 minutes, shooting boiling water up to 56 meters into the sky predictably. The Grand Prismatic Spring displays rainbow colors. The largest hot spring in the park, with brilliant hues from thermophilic bacteria. The wildlife roams in massive numbers, bison herds numbering in the thousands, wolves, grizzly bears, and elk throughout the wilderness. The Yellowstone caldera measures 55 by 72 kilometers. A supervolcano that last erupted 640,000 years ago with global impact potential. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone features 400-meter cliffs with waterfalls plunging into the yellow-stained walls carved by the river. Have you watched a geyser erupt above a supervolcano that could change the world? Would you visit in the summer crowds or the peaceful winter solitude? It's the Slot Canyon where sandstone waves flow like frozen water, with light beams piercing through the narrow openings above. Antelope Canyon sits on Navajo land near Page, with upper and lower sections, both requiring guided tours for access only. The sandstone walls are smooth and flowing, shaped by flash floods over millennia, creating wave-like patterns carved throughout the canyon. The light beams are legendary, occurring from March to October, when the sun sits high enough to shine directly down through the slots. The canyon narrows dramatically with sections only 1 to 2 meters wide, while the walls tower 40 meters above, creating vertical drama. The colors shift throughout the day from orange to red to purple as the sun's angle changes across the sky. The flash flood danger is real. The canyon closes during rain with water rushing through and continuing to carve the sandstone. Have you walked through a canyon where sandstone flows like frozen water in waves? Would you prefer the easier upper canyon or the adventurous lower canyon experience? It's the Waterfall Trio, where 750,000 gallons of water thunder over the edge every second at the US-Canada border. Niagara Falls comprises 3 separate waterfalls: American Falls, Bridal Veil Falls, and Horseshoe Falls, straddling the international boundary between nations. The American Falls drops 57 meters, with 150,000 gallons per second flowing over the edge during the peak daytime flow. The Cave of the Winds descends to the base of Bridal Veil Falls, with wooden walkways, bringing visitors within meters of the cascading water. The Maid of the Mist boats approach the base of Horseshoe Falls, with passengers completely soaked by the powerful mist and spray. The illumination at night transforms the falls with colorful lights, creating a spectacular show visible from both countries simultaneously. The power generated is immense, with hydroelectric plants harnessing the flowing water to generate electricity for the surrounding region. Have you felt the thunder of 750,000 gallons per second crashing over a massive waterfall? Would you brave the soaking Cave of the Winds or cruise on the Maid of the Mist? It's the Granite Wonderland, where waterfalls plunge from vertical cliffs and giant sequoias tower above the lush valley floor. Yosemite Valley forms the park's heart, with El Capitan's 900-meter granite face and Half Dome's distinctive profile dominating the iconic skyline. The waterfalls are spectacular. Yosemite Falls drops 739 meters as North America's tallest waterfall. cascading in 3 separate sections down the cliff. The granite monoliths attract climbers from around the world, with El Capitan presenting the ultimate big wall climbing challenge taking multiple days. The giant sequoias grow in protected groves, with the grizzly giant standing 64 meters tall and an estimated 2,700 years old. The meadows carpet the valley floor with wildflowers in spring and golden grasses in autumn, creating beautiful seasonal transformations throughout. The tunnel view offers the iconic vista: El Capitan on the left, Bridal Veil Fall on the right, and Half Dome in the distant center. Have you stood beneath a 900-meter granite wall watching climbers slowly ascend for days? Would you hike to the top of Half Dome or photograph the valley from tunnel view? It's the massive chasm where the Colorado River carved through rock layers, revealing 2 billion years of Earth's geological history. The Grand Canyon stretches 446 kilometers long, up to 29 kilometers wide, and plunges 1,857 meters deep at the deepest point. The South Rim receives the most visitors, with numerous viewpoints along the Rim Road offering panoramic vistas across the canyon scale. The North Rim sits 300 meters higher and receives far fewer visitors due to seasonal closures and the remote location. The Colorado River flows at the bottom, visible from the rim as a thin ribbon 1,600 meters below the observation points. The hiking trails descend into the canyon, with the Bright Angel and South Kaibab trails leading to the river far below. The rock layers tell Earth's story, each colorful band representing different geological periods, with the oldest rocks at the bottom dating back 2 billion years. Have you stood at the rim of a canyon so vast it defies human comprehension? Would you hike to the river at the bottom or safely view from the rim? It's the dramatic coastline, where mountains plunge straight into the Pacific Ocean, creating one of the world's most scenic coastal drives. Big Sur stretches 145 kilometers along California's central coast, with Highway 1 clinging precariously to cliffs high above the crashing ocean. The Bixby Bridge is iconic, a graceful concrete arch spanning 320 meters over a deep canyon with the endless Pacific stretching beyond. McWay Falls drops 24 meters directly onto the beach or into the ocean depending on the tide, creating a unique waterfall. The redwood forests grow in the canyons. Pfeiffer Big Sur State Park protects ancient trees just inland from the rocky Pacific coast. The beaches feature dramatic scenery. Large rocks and sea stacks dot the shoreline, with powerful waves crashing against the steep cliffs. The wildlife is abundant. Sea otters, seals, sea lions, and migrating whales visible from numerous coastal viewpoints throughout the year. Have you driven a highway where mountains drop straight into the Pacific Ocean below? Would you stop at every scenic viewpoint or drive continuously to feel the winding road? It's the Amphitheater of Stone, where thousands of hoodoos create an alien landscape glowing in shades of red and orange. Bryce Canyon isn't technically a canyon, but a collection of natural amphitheaters carved into the edge of the high plateau. The hoodoos are spire formations, thousands of tall, thin rocks created by frost weathering and erosion over millions of patient years. The colors are spectacular. Iron oxide creates the reds, oranges, and pinks, while manganese adds purples to the layered limestone formations. The Sunrise Point and Sunset Point offer stunning views into the main amphitheater, with thousands of hoodoos stretching endlessly below. The Queen's Garden Trail descends among the hoodoos, allowing hikers to walk through the maze of towering stone spires up close. The elevation ranges from 2,400 to 2,700 meters, making it one of Utah's highest parks, with noticeably cooler temperatures year-round. The night sky is exceptional. The high elevation and remote location create dark skies perfect for stargazing and photographing the Milky Way. Have you walked among thousands of stone spires glowing red beneath a star-filled sky? Would you hike among the hoodoos or photograph the view from the rim? It's the diverse park where temperate rainforests, glacier-covered mountains, and wild coastline coexist in one remarkable protected area. Olympic National Park spans nearly 4,000 square kilometers across Washington's Olympic Peninsula, with 3 completely distinct ecosystems represented throughout. The Hoh rainforest receives over 4 meters of rain annually, creating moss-draped trees and the lush green landscape throughout the valley. The mountain peaks rise to 2,428 meters at Mount Olympus, with glaciers covering the summit despite the relatively coastal location. The coastline stretches for 117 kilometers, with dramatic sea stacks, tide pools, and driftwood-covered beaches, creating stunning Pacific shoreline scenery. The temperate rainforest is rare. Only a few locations worldwide support this unique ecosystem, with massive trees and thick undergrowth. The wildlife includes Roosevelt elk, the largest variety of elk in North America, roaming freely through the forests and open meadows. Have you explored a park with rainforests, glaciers, and ocean beaches all in one place? Would you hike through the rainforest or explore the wild coastline first? It's the volcanic park, where active lava flows create new land as Kilauea continues its decades-long eruption cycle. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park encompasses 2 active volcanoes, Kilauea and Mauna Loa, on the Big Island of Hawaii together. Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes, with nearly continuous eruptions creating new land while destroying existing forests. The Crater Rim Drive circles Kilauea's summit caldera with numerous viewpoints overlooking the active crater and steaming volcanic vents throughout. The lava tubes are accessible. Walking through Thurston Lava Tube reveals the underground passages, where molten lava once flowed freely underground. The Chain of Craters Road descends to the coast, where lava has flowed into the ocean, creating dramatic explosions of steam. The volcanic landscape is otherworldly. Black lava fields stretch for kilometers, with hardy pioneer plants slowly colonizing the barren rock. The Mauna Loa towers above, at 4,169 meters, as the world's largest volcano by volume, covering half of the island. Have you watched an active volcano create new land before your eyes? Would you hike across fresh lava fields or explore the ancient lava tubes? It's the mountain range, where jagged peaks rise abruptly from the valley floor with no foothills softening the dramatic impact. The Teton Range soars to 4,197 meters at Grand Teton Peak, with dramatic vertical relief of 2,100 meters rising from the valley. The Snake River winds through Jackson Hole Valley with the iconic barn and Teton reflection, creating one of America's most photographed landscapes. The glacial lakes dot the landscape: Jenny Lake, Lee Lake, and Jackson Lake, reflecting the towering peaks in their perfectly calm waters. The wildlife is abundant: grizzly bears, black bears, moose, elk, and pronghorn roaming the valley and mountainsides throughout the entire year. The hiking trails range from easy lakeside walks to challenging mountain climbs, ascending to alpine lakes and rocky summits high above. The Cascade Canyon Trail follows a glacially carved valley deep into the heart of the range, with waterfalls and towering granite peaks. The Mormon Row preserves historic homesteads, with weathered barns, creating foreground interest for the mountain backdrop rising dramatically behind them. Have you seen mountains rise 2,100 meters straight from a valley floor? Would you climb to the summit or photograph the iconic barn scene? It's the iconic landscape where massive sandstone buttes rise from the flat desert floor, creating the American West's most recognizable vista. Monument Valley sits on Navajo land, with towering formations reaching up to 300 meters above the surrounding valley floor dramatically. The buttes are named landmarks: the Mittens, Merrick Butte, and Elephant Butte, creating the iconic skyline featured in countless classic Western films. The Navajo guides offer tours into the restricted backcountry areas, with access to arches and formations beyond the public self-drive route. The red sand and rocks create stunning color contrasts, especially at sunrise and sunset, when the light illuminates the towering formations. The 27-kilometer scenic drive is unpaved and rough winding among the formations, with designated viewpoints throughout the valley floor. The totem pole is a slender spire, rising 120 meters as one of the valley's most distinctive and technically challenging climbing routes. The John Ford Point offers the classic cinematic view, where many legendary Western movies were filmed capturing this iconic landscape. Have you stood in a landscape you've seen in countless Western movies? Would you take the self-drive loop or hire a Navajo guide? It's the impossibly blue lake filling a volcanic caldera created by Mount Mazama's catastrophic collapse 7,700 years ago in a massive eruption. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States, at 594 meters deep, with water so pure and deep, it glows an intense blue. The caldera measures 8 by 10 kilometers wide, formed when the volcano collapsed, after a massive eruption emptied its underground magma chamber. The rim drive circles the lake at elevations around 2,100 meters, with over 30 viewpoints offering different perspectives on the brilliant blue water. Wizard Island is a volcanic cinder cone rising from the lake, formed after the caldera's creation and now visible from every rim viewpoint. The boat tours descend to the lake level from Cleetwood Cove, the only legal access to the water requiring a steep 1.7-kilometer hike. The snow is abundant. Crater Lake receives over 13 meters of snow annually, with the rim drive closed from October to July. The water clarity is exceptional. Visibility extends to 43 meters, making it one of the world's clearest lakes throughout the year. Have you seen a lake so blue it seems impossible to be real? Would you hike down to take the boat tour? It's the unexpected landscape where North America's tallest sand dunes rise beneath the snow-capped Rocky Mountains, creating surreal desert contrasts. The dunes rise to 230 meters tall, the tallest sand dunes in North America, piled against the Sangre de Cristo Mountains by prevailing winds. The sand accumulated over thousands of years, blown by winds across the San Luis Valley and trapped against the towering mountain barrier. The Medano Creek flows seasonally at the dune's base with surge flow, creating rhythmic waves of water during the spring snowmelt periods. The sandboarding and sledding are popular activities. Visitors slide down the steep dune faces on boards and sleds year-round when conditions are dry. The hiking is challenging. Climbing the soft sand to reach Star Dune or High Dune requires significant effort in the unstable loose surface. The temperature extremes are significant. Sand surface temperatures reach 65 degrees Celsius in summer, while winter brings snow to the dunes, creating bizarre contrasts. The night sky is exceptional. The dark sky designation makes it perfect for stargazing with the Milky Way arcing brilliantly above. Have you climbed sand dunes taller than 70-story buildings beneath snowy peaks? Would you sandboard down the dunes or hike to the summit? It's the Red Rock Wonderland, where over 2,000 natural stone arches create the world's highest concentration of these geological formations. Arches National Park preserves 310 square kilometers of sandstone formations, carved by erosion over millions of years throughout the high desert. The Delicate Arch is iconic. A freestanding arch rising 16 meters with the La Salle Mountains visible beyond in every classic photograph. The window section contains multiple large arches clustered together. The north and south windows and turret arch accessible by relatively short trails. The double arch is massive, two arches sharing a common end with the taller span reaching 34 meters in height rising dramatically. The landscape arch spans 88 meters as one of the longest natural arches in the world, a thin ribbon of stone defying gravity. The Devil's Garden area contains numerous arches accessed by a 12-kilometer trail system, winding through fins and formations scattered throughout the landscape. The sandstone glows at sunrise and sunset. Red, orange, and pink colors intensify in the angled light, creating ideal photographer's dream conditions. Have you hiked to an arch-framing mountain peaks in the distance? Would you chase sunset at Delicate Arch or explore Devil's Garden? It's the massive rock monolith rising 386 meters from the surrounding plains, inspiring native legends and challenging modern rock climbers. Devil's Tower is a volcanic plug, magma that hardened deep underground and was exposed as the surrounding softer rock eroded over time. The columnar joints create vertical striations, hexagonal columns formed as the rock cooled and contracted, creating the distinctive fluted appearance on all sides. The Native American tribes consider it sacred, known as Bear Lodge in Lakota tradition, with numerous spiritual stories explaining its mysterious origin. The climbing routes number over 220. The tower attracts rock climbers from around the world, with cracks between columns providing traditional routes. The voluntary June climbing closure honors native ceremonies. Climbers voluntarily avoid the tower during sacred ceremonies, respecting the cultural traditions and spiritual significance. The Tower Trail circles the base, a 2-kilometer paved path offering views from all angles with massive fallen boulders scattered around. The prairie dog town surrounds the tower, a large colony of black-tailed prairie dogs inhabiting the grasslands around the monument's base throughout. Have you circled a sacred monolith rising from the plains? Would you climb the vertical columns or respect it from below? From North America's highest peak, rising above Arctic tundra, to volcanic islands, creating new land before your eyes. From canyons carved a mile deep to natural arches defying gravity in red rock deserts. From glaciers calving into fjords to geysers erupting above supervolcanoes, ready to reshape the continent. This is the unseen America. If this journey revealed America's true natural wonders and diversity, subscribe to Wanderlux Experience right now. Drop a comment. Which American destination left you breathless? Have you experienced landscapes that seem impossible to believe? The real America awaits. Discover the world. Explore the hidden. See you in the next adventure.